Hi, good people. Happy Friday. Today, I just wanted to touch on what I heard Ryan Paul say to Congress. A lot of African Americans are really excited about the idea of getting rid of mandatory minimums. Mandatory minimums are sentences that are already that have mandatory minimum sentences based on the crime. So, like if you're caught with cocaine in your car, depending on how much it is, you have a mandatory minimum sentence. Or if you're caught with crack, or if you're caught with marijuana, you have a mandatory minimum that you must serve. And judges have to give that out. There are some loopholes, but those loopholes are extremely tight. And so judges are having to give first time offenders 7 years, 10 years, 25 years. And they don't and once you are a convicted felon, you lose your right to vote. And so basically these laws have disenfranchised many criminals. And I understand that. I really don't want to talk about that law right now, because for me that's not really what I heard being advocated for when I was listening to Paul Ryan. Here's what I heard him say. I heard him say that 3/4 of all the people that are serving mandatory minimum sentences are African American, while the numbers show that majority of the drug users and sellers are white, and that these people get off during early negotiations and are not convicted felons. I don't care whether or not you reduce mandatory minimums. What I care about is, where is the equality and justice for all in the judicial system? You're telling me that you already know that police officers target poor neighborhoods on a consistent basis, and yet you argue, but once we convict them, we don't want to give them too many years. No, stop coming into our neighborhoods. Treat us equal. Whatever you don't do in the suburban neighborhoods, don't go doing in the other neighborhoods. Stop making excuses for racism. I heard Ryan Paul say, because of racism, we need to get rid of mandatory minimums. No, because of racism, we need to eradicate the system, rebuild the system, not reform the system. Nobody wants to sit down and talk to people who are racist. If you're telling me that you know for a fact that if a white guy and a black guy commit the same crime with the same issue, that the white guy's trial never make it to court, then your court system is fake. We want to see you eliminate that. You can eliminate. I personally, if you got caught with drugs in your car, or if you've been convicted of a crime, you're a criminal and you do lose rights. I'm not about to sit up and fight, and not saying that prisoners don't deserve rights, but what I heard him say was the system is racist. And what he's not advocating for is the idea that we need to eradicate a racist system. Minorities are the ones who are suffering most from mandatory minimums, because minorities are the ones who are unable to negotiate within the court system before trial. That's what I heard him say. So, if little Johnny has rich parents and they can negotiate, little Mark with poor parents ought to be able to negotiate as well. If it is an unfair system in that way, it needs to be eradicated. I feel like Ryan Paul is a racist because he is accepting that racism exists within the system in which he works. As a black woman, I fight racism for black people, for white people, for Chinese people, for Mexican people. I want to see racial equality in the judicial system. Mandatory minimums does not equal racial equality. Eradicating mandatory minimums could equal racial equality if everybody was being convicted who was caught doing the exact same thing. But because rich people are able to negotiate their way out of systems because of who their lawyers are and all that kind of stuff, at this point, your judicial system does not work. getting rid of mandatory minimums does not excuse the racism in the judiciary system. And the idea, and y'all know I am not a big Barack Obama fan. I am not a big Barack Obama fan at all. But the idea, like the words he said when he started talking about, oh, Barack Obama, he made some mistakes. No, talk about your mistakes, Paul Ryan. Keep Barack Obama's name out your mouth. And I don't like Barack Obama. I don't. And y'all know I don't like him that much. But I just think he's a racist. And I don't want to see y'all following up behind Ron Paul. He's going to be running for president. He does not care about black people. He wants to say, if you got a crack dealer in your neighborhood, that they can stay and not be sentenced by mandatory minimums, let them be your problem. Let them stay in your neighborhood. So if you are an upstanding citizen, you should be up in arms that this racist man is attempting to use the black community to push his agenda, and what he's saying, the two don't even match up. If it's a racist system, eradicate the system. Because at the end of the day, if you already know the system is racist, what does it matter that you reduce mandatory minimums? What does it matter? Be honest. Is it really gonna matter? Do you really feel like the judges are upstanding? I don't think the judges are upstanding. I don't think the lawyers are upstanding. And am I saying all judges are not upstanding? No. But the upstanding judges are going to know exactly what I'm saying. The upstanding lawyers are going to know exactly what I'm saying. It's a racist system. We do not want to make a step. We want to start over. We want a revolution, a complete change. And I just want to put that out there, and I just want to let black people know, hey, just because somebody say they doing something for black people, they don't always wish us well. They don't always wish us well. So I want you to watch out for Ryan Paul. He does not mean us well at all. If you listen to his speech, his argument doesn't even make sense. Well, we have this racist system, but let's be kinder to the black folks. No. And then he went on to say, I know this guy who's this. You a lie. How many kids he got? Where he from? Where he grew up? What school he went to? You don't know any black people. Have several seats, Ryan Paul, Paul Ryan, whatever the hell your name is. Have several seats. And I'm telling y'all better stop falling for everything. How can you stand for something when you fall for everything? I love you guys. Don't forget to read your food labels. Peace.